I accidentally overheard my girlfriend brutally mocking me to her best friend. And when I say brutally, I mean she tore into everything from my personality and appearance to our relationship itself, laughing behind my back like I was some pathetic joke. Now I don't know if I'm more heartbroken, humiliated, or just done. My girlfriend Jenna and I have been together for a little over 2 years now. I'm a veterinarian, and our paths crossed at my office. She had recently arrived in the city and brought her dog in for an ear infection. Our conversation, which should have lasted a mere 15 minutes, stretched into a full hour. I'd never been so captivated by someone before. Prior to Jenna, I led a very unattached life, and I was starting to believe I'd simply remain single forever, even though that routine of fleeting relationships was becoming quite tiresome and unfulfilling. Jenna is a charming person with many friends, including a close male friend named Dylan from her old town. While I trust Jenna, I would be dishonest if I said their connection doesn't bother me at all. I don't get upset or argue with her about it. She's assured me they've been lifelong friends and have never had a romantic or sexual relationship. I'm secure and rational, so I accept their friendship and have even tried to build a rapport with him. He's visited the city 3 times, and he seems like a decent person. However, he doesn't appear to care for me much. Jenna explains it as him being protective, but to me, it feels more like jealousy than concern. Jenna recently completed grad school this spring, but has faced a difficult time securing employment. We've lived together for a year, and I've been understanding about her inability to contribute to rent and other expenses at the moment. I'm financially stable, so it's not an immediate problem. Still, I'm careful not to become a reason for her to delay finding a job and achieving her own financial independence. I just believe that kind of independence is important for everyone. So, without being too forceful, I've let her know she'll need to start covering half the expenses once she lands a job. Anyway, on Monday, she texted me at work to say she got a job. It was a position she deeply desired and had endured some tough interviews to get. I was so incredibly happy and proud of her that I decided to hand off the rest of my day's responsibilities to my staff and leave early without letting Jenna know. I picked up her favorite drinks, ordered a bunch of her preferred Chinese takeout, and bought her flowers. I also got her a nice necklace she'd admired in a store a couple of weeks ago. Nothing overly extravagant, but it has a shark on it, and she's absolutely fascinated by anything related to sharks. I'd tucked it away in the basement, planning to give it to her as a complete surprise when she'd forgotten all about seeing it. I arrived home and entered through the side basement door to retrieve the necklace before surprising her. As I ascended the basement stairs and opened the door, I could hear her on the phone. Normally, I wouldn't stop and listen, but I heard her laughing uncontrollably, a deep, hearty laugh. It was quite endearing, so I decided to wait for her to finish her call before I revealed myself. She was talking to Dylan, which wasn't new. They chat at least once a week. Then I overheard what they were laughing about. It took a few slow moments for me to grasp that she was making fun of our intimate life. She said something along the lines of, "No, he can't even compare to ex-boyfriend's name. Ex-boyfriend's name had at least 3 inches on him. I feel awful every time I eat a baby carrot around him because it must be traumatizing to see me munching on something the same size as him. It would almost be sweet if it didn't feel so lacking. His body is wonderful, as long as he keeps his underwear on." There was a lot of laughter. Look, I genuinely don't care what people online think about the size of my anatomy, but I do think it's important to state that what she was mocking wasn't even accurate, which, in my opinion, makes it even more hurtful. I mean, I don't know about the ex-boyfriend. Maybe he was exceptionally well endowed, but I am very average, just good old-fashioned average. I'm not going to exaggerate here. It's nothing extraordinary, but it's certainly not something to be ridiculed. I've never felt self-conscious about it. It is what it is. To hear her tearing me apart to this man, about whom I already had some concerns, was just beyond painful. Painful doesn't even begin to cover it. She also poked fun at me for being attractive but not terribly intelligent. Actually, I'm highly educated. This isn't even remotely a worry of mine. I know I'm intelligent, attractive, and quite sharp, with an average-sized penis. Thank you very much. I left after that. Did I throw the flowers out of my car window? Yes. Did I cry in a parking lot? Yes. I think she might have heard the basement door close, or perhaps even saw my car pulling away, because she started texting me pretty quickly after I left, asking when I was coming home. That was Monday, and I haven't brought it up. I don't know how. I think I'm still processing everything. It's terribly embarrassing and upsetting, but I truly love this girl. I'm not saying I'm going to forgive her necessarily. I just want to emphasize how difficult this whole situation is for me. I know I need to discuss it with her, but how? Any suggestions on how to initiate this conversation with her? I'm incredibly wounded, and I'm unsure if I can ever forgive her for this. To summarize, my girlfriend made fun of me with her male friend about our intimate life and my private parts. It was quite cruel. I feel like a puppy that just got kicked in the face. All joking aside, I'm devastated. I was planning to propose in the coming months. Now, I don't see how I can even forgive her and remain with her. I'm seeking advice. Wow, thank you everyone. I just wanted to add that I will definitely be breaking up with Jenna. I had a beer with 3 of my friends tonight and shared everything. Their feelings aligned with most of yours. End it, and do it quickly. I called my mom and told her about it. Yes, I told her every embarrassing detail. We're quite close, and I wanted to give her the full story. I've never heard her so angry. About anything. She knew I had bought a ring for Jenna. I will post an update after I do it, probably tomorrow, though it might take me a couple of days to actually post about it. I'm going to be quite emotionally drained. Thanks again for all the comments and messages of support and encouragement. I really didn't expect everyone to be rooting for me like this. Update. I, a 33-year-old male, overheard my 28-year-old girlfriend brutally making fun of me to her 27-year-old best friend. When I say brutally, I mean truly brutally. Well, supportive internet strangers, I stayed strong and broke up with Jenna on Thursday evening. This has honestly been the most dramatic couple of days of my entire life. I'm exhausted, and things got pretty messy on her end. I apologize for the length of this. A lot happened. At the suggestion of my friends, my mother, my brother, and many of you, I spoke with her in a private but still public place. The reasoning behind this was that someone capable of such cruelty and dishonesty might try to twist the narrative and claim she left me because I hurt her or some other nonsense. I'd like to believe she wouldn't do something like that, but who knows, especially after everything that's transpired. Better safe than sorry, I thought. I considered just packing her things and ending things with no explanation, but we had been together for over 2 years. I decided the best course of action was to calmly confront her and then listen to her. If she had an explanation, I wanted to hear it, even if it didn't change my decision to break up with her. So, I took her to a wine bar downtown that has those small, individual booths with half curtains. She'd been overly sweet since Monday, which suggested to me that she either felt guilty about her behavior, thought I might have been hurt, or was completely unaware why I'd been distant. So, she dressed up very nicely, and despite everything that had happened, I can admit she looked stunning. She was also very affectionate and kept making suggestive comments about what she wanted to do with me later. Normally, my precious little baby carrot would have been thrilled by this, but given the circumstances, it was difficult to hear and act naturally. I had rehearsed what I was going to say to her repeatedly, so as soon as we sat down and received our wine, I began. I can't recall my exact words. My adrenaline was running quite high, so it feels a bit blurred. I essentially started by expressing how much I had loved her, how she was the only woman I had ever felt such a profound connection with, that I had opened myself up to her completely and trusted her. I told her she was the only woman I had ever thought about marrying, that I had gone ring shopping for her. I omitted the part about already having bought a ring and that I had actually envisioned having children with her in the next few years. She kept interrupting me to express her love for me as well. Then I looked her directly in the eye and asked her plainly why, if she loved me so much, she had so horribly ridiculed me to Dylan. I must say, the look on her face was a bit satisfying. As expected, she denied it at first and pretended she had no idea what I was talking about. She said Dylan knew how much she loved me and that she had never made fun of me to him. I just sort of looked at her and said something like, "Come on, Jenna," but she still denied it, even after I told her. I had come home early on Monday and had overheard her. It was pretty frustrating, but I maintained my composure. I simply told her that both she and I knew she was lying, and that the things she said were unforgivable, and that I couldn't comprehend why she would say such things to anyone, let alone Dylan, especially since she was lying just to insult me. She still denied it and acted like I was being irrational. She claimed she loved me so much that she wasn't dissatisfied with our intimate life and would never say she was or complain about my size, and that she knew how intelligent and kind I was, which is why she loved me. If I hadn't heard what she said to Dylan myself, I would have believed her. She deserved an award for that performance. Some commenters had asked if I was sure she was talking about me when I overheard her, specifically when she was talking about her ex-boyfriend and his impressive size. She used my name when making the comparison. I am absolutely certain she was talking about me and that she was lying directly to my face about it. I told her I would drive us home and she could gather the essentials she needed, as well as her dog. My brother and his girlfriend would be at the house. I wanted to ensure there were other people present, just to have witnesses that I allowed her to collect her belongings and didn't act aggressively or destructively. I told her I would pack up the rest of her things and leave them out for her to retrieve whenever she could. She was completely in disbelief that I was actually breaking up with her. She pleaded with me, but my decision was firm and I wouldn't budge. It was difficult not to cry in front of her, though, when she kept saying how much she wanted to be with me forever and that she had planned to be the mother of my children someday. I own my house, and since Jenna hasn't contributed to expenses by paying any rent or utilities, I wasn't too concerned about, to put it bluntly, making her leave. She kept asking me what she was supposed to do and where she was supposed to sleep. I told her it wasn't really my concern anymore and that she had plenty of friends she could stay with until she found her own place. Essentially, all of the furniture and decor are mine. She just had clothes, toiletries, and other personal items to get out. All of the redecorating she did to my house was paid for by me. Then came the tears. She started crying and saying she didn't understand how I could do this to her. She said she thought I was a kind person about 1,000,000 times. I told her I am a kind person, which is why I didn't just throw her belongings onto the front lawn, change the locks, and offer no explanation. Then, I swear to you, this woman twisted the knife even deeper. She said she didn't know why she had said those things to Dylan. She finally admitted it and suggested that perhaps it was because Dylan brought out the best in her, and she was able to laugh about things that would normally make her cry. I guess, like my private parts. I told her that it was truly sad to me if what I had heard was her at her best. It was petty, and usually, I'm above making sarcastic remarks, but I told her that she could go back to her hometown and live with Dylan or her 9-inch ex-boyfriend. It was astonishing to see how quickly those tears vanished. Apparently, I am an individual who doesn't know how to treat women. I'm a failure. My anatomy is tiny. I'm going to be alone forever. She never truly loved me, and I was more like a friend, but she didn't want to hurt me, so she stayed with me. That makes a lot of sense. She would have said no if I had proposed. Again, I am a failure, and, in case I didn't grasp it the first time, she meant it when she said my private parts were a baby carrot. Oh, and I will die alone. I told her that dying alone is preferable to dying married to a woman who is cruel and doesn't love or respect me. No joke, she started to scream, not words, just a long, extremely loud scream. It was alarming, and then she just bolted out of there after calling me a disgusting pig. After paying the bill and apologizing to the waiter for the commotion, I left, and Jenna was just standing outside crying. I know what she did was awful, and all the things she said just a few minutes earlier were horrible, but I still didn't like seeing her like that, and didn't want to just leave her on the sidewalk. I'm in New England. It's already quite cold here. So I told her to let me give her a ride back to the house so she could get her things, but that she needed to leave and go stay somewhere else as soon as she packed a bag. She agreed, and we didn't talk at all in the car. Talk about an awkward ride. My brother and his wife were at the house when we got there. His wife stayed inside while Jenna gathered some things, and my brother waited outside with me. That went by pretty uneventfully, and she had a friend come pick her up. I got my key back from her before she left. She texted me throughout the night, and the messages ranged from apologetic to sad to angry to very angry and back again. I didn't answer any of them and only texted her yesterday morning to tell her that her belongings were on the porch and that she should come pick them up while I was at work. I didn't hear from her all day until it was almost time for me to go home. A pretty nasty text wishing me every ill imaginable. I didn't answer. Well, I came home to a scene of utter destruction. She smashed everything. I don't know if she had made a spare key at some point that I was unaware of, or if she knows how to pick locks, but she got into the house somehow, and she destroyed it. She smashed irreplaceable items. She ripped up the furniture. She clogged 2 sinks and left the water running. She left my refrigerator open and threw food all over the kitchen. It was completely ruined. The only thoughtful thing she did was lock my 2 dogs up in a bedroom. I suppose so they didn't cut themselves on glass or eat the food. I have 2 vehicles, one for everyday use and an SUV for work. I use the SUV for house calls and when I might need to transport a large or exotic animal to the clinic. In the midst of all the drama, I had forgotten I'd given her a key to the SUV in case she ever had an emergency and needed to drive somewhere. I went out to check the car, and she had trashed the inside of it too. She dumped flour all over the interior in addition to tomato soup. The items are just things, I suppose. It's more the fact that she could do something so immature and awful on top of everything else. It baffles me. Last weekend, I took her to a play, went out with her and friends. We played Monopoly one night and made up our own drinking game with it. We hung out and watched streaming services, were intimate several times, and this weekend my house and vehicle are destroyed, and so am I. It's astonishing how quickly things change. It wasn't my finest moment, but I was so furious that I immediately got onto Costco's instant delivery and ordered 5 25-pound bags of baby carrots and had them shipped to her friend's place, addressed to Jenna. 125 pounds of baby carrots. They deliver within an hour. I received a barrage of interesting and insulting texts from her that evening. Yes, it was petty, but the only regret I have about it is that it was a waste of food. Hopefully, she donates them or cooks some of them or something. So that's that. I blocked her last night after the nasty texts from her just kept coming. I'm feeling quite beaten down right now, and I've cried more than I have in a long time. It's obvious that I made the correct choice. Jenna is clearly not emotionally stable or mature. She truly is cruel, and I know I deserve better. I've spent a lot of time since Monday reflecting on myself as a partner and trying to figure out what could have led to her obviously harboring some resentment or something for me. I'm going to be completely honest here. I work a lot. I try to still make time for the people I love, and I try not to bring work home with me when I've had a bad day, but sometimes I do. I know this. Jenna and I have argued about it before, and I have really tried to organize my days in a way so that I can get home at a reasonable time, and I've tried to leave bad days at work as much as I can. However, anyone who is a vet or has worked with one knows we're always on call for emergencies. Sometimes we have patients that we have to check on or stay with throughout the night. Time off can be challenging. It's doable, but it's challenging. My staff is incredible and can handle most situations, but I do still get a lot of calls or texts from them when I'm on vacation or off for the day. I'm sure there have been times when Jenna felt secondary to my job. Well, I guess I know there have been. She's told me as much in the past. I did try to make changes, but there's only so much I can do. As far as I can recall, I've never been purposely unkind to Jenna. I've had bad days and been grumpy or preoccupied. We've had our share of disagreements and arguments, but nothing unhealthy or excessive. I really thought we had a solid relationship and that we were both content. I know I was. It's hard not to question myself and wonder if I really am a disappointment or if I neglected her to the point that she felt unloved enough to act the way she did. I don't know, but I do know that no matter what, the way she disparaged me and the way she reacted to breaking up was way out of line. I didn't deserve that, and that's on her. So thank you for supporting me, Internet. It's been great to read all the kind words and advice. Time for me and my baby carrot to eventually find a woman who appreciates us for who we are. To summarize, I ended things with Jenna on Thursday night. It did not go well. She became nasty and destroying my house, my car, and me, but I did it. It's over, and I've blocked her from my phone and social media. I also sent her 125 pounds of baby carrots in a moment of angry weakness.